Most anywhere, so you don't have to come to us. Se habla español.
To boldly go where no man has gone before.
Boldly taking talk radio where it has never gone before. New vistas, new voices, new views, new visions, new victories. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we're taking public media black.
This makes me happy. Sing us in, Genuine.
9 o'clock, hold alone, paging you.
To see if you're locked into RSVP. RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580, where I will occasionally subject you to my slightly off-key singing, but it is said with love. Come on, Genuine, so anxious. He hit that 9 o'clock. No way I can slide in there with my own promo. Happy Monday to you. Welcome in. This is the show where we hit all the trending topics across entertainment, sports, lifestyle, and culture. And as the station says, we have so much to talk about. So I hope that you are relaxed, not so anxious about anything but getting the tea tonight. We got some tea. We got some opinions. We got a lot. As always, I hope you had a great weekend. And I hope your team won. Mine did. Shout out to the Rams. The Lakers, you know, it's preseason, baby. It's preseason. We're just working things out. Don't get too attached to anything, you know? We're just working some stuff out. Had to say that. Shout out to Lynn in the YouTube chat. That is a reminder for you. Make sure that you are locked in on all of our socials. KBLA 1580 everywhere. I'm, of course, at Stiletto Jill. You can hop in the YouTube chat to get some visuals with this audio experience, of course. And you can hit us up there. Leave your commentary there. There's a lot of conversation that happens there that is off the air for the people in the chat. Also, if at any point tonight you want to give your opinion, we love to hear from you. 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. That is the number to call in so we can hear that lovely voice of yours. Let me get into what we are going to be getting into this evening. Now, I know it's probably been a burnout, fatigue for you on this topic. You probably want to close your eyes and grit your teeth at just even the mere J sound being introduced. But here I am. We're going to talk about Will. We're going to give you Will's reaction to all of this, a letter that Will wrote to Jada. And oh yeah, again, because you guys know I like facts. I like a little history. So also some points that we can point to along the way that says to me, why y'all out here coddling this grown 50-something-year-old man in Will Smith? I don't understand it. And I have a reason that I believe it's happening. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Megan Thee Stallion. She has announced that she is going to be personally funding her next project. Is that a smart move in what's happening with rap right now? Is it the best move for her? We're going to talk about it. We're also going to talk about some other little brewing battles amongst the female rappers and, you know, get into all of that. And in the last hour, I'm really excited for this conversation. We're going to get into some R&B chat. And it was so appropriate that Andy started the night with Genuine, So Anxious, because, you know, I'm going to throw his name up in this conversation. later. It's all gonna make sense. The dots are gonna connect. What I will tell you is that Mario has entered the chat because he's saying that on his Mount Rushmore, there are 3 names and himself. Well, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about some social media reaction to that commentary. And of course, we're going to bandy about some names and kind of think about what that list may or may not look like. I also want to know if realistically, is it too difficult to really put in list best of, favorites of, without categorizing them in eras? Can you really do it? We're going to have that conversation. But before we get into all of our topics, the spice, there are a couple of conversation starters that, just some stories I want to drop on you, mention that we can't really get into tonight, but we might get into at a later date. But I still want you to be aware. First and foremost, listen, Shannon Sharpe. We know that he has made the jump from FS1, Fox Sports 1, to ESPN, and he's joined First Take. And we know that social media is always hanging on what Unc's going to say, judging what's going on with our 2 Uncs, Stephen A. and Shannon, right? Well, this morning, Shannon was trending for something far different. Apparently, everyone thought that his makeup looked casket sharp on First Take. So much so that it made its rounds, and you know how people are. So, of course, there were several memes about it. And Shannon did notice, and he sent out a tweet and he said, "Appreciate the concern over my makeup this morning on First Take. This was her first time doing my makeup and it was a little heavy. My appearance is important, not as important as my takes. Hopefully the takes were great as usual. I'm the best dressed." Listen, what it does tell you is that Shannon definitely keeps his ear to the social media streets. He is reacting. He is tapped in. So I just thought it was kind of interesting how fast it reached him. Like, why are you even addressing that? Just, tomorrow, make sure it's better. Blot it a little bit. Tell her ease up on some of the things. It's a hard job. It's early in the morning. We understand. A lot goes through it. So, also, listen, your girl Issa Rae, we know she's full of new projects, new things to get excited over in the Rae brand. Well, she has a new beverage, a libation, headed our way. And we need you to get ready for it. We'll give you all the details about that on the other side. You are locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Make sure you are buckled in. You got your snacks, because on the other side, we get into it.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
A sense of peace, a place to kick back and put down roots, a lasting legacy. However you define home, at City National, we're committed to helping you get there with our City National Ladder Up Home Loan Program. Find the full benefits at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National Bank, here for our clients and communities. Ladder Up program is available only in select areas. Terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS ID 536994.
Boom, 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 boom.
Nissan has a car for every driver who wants more. More action. More fun. More guts. More head turns. More adventure. More electric. At Nissan, more is all we do.
I had an important job, and it wasn't just a job, it was keeping my brothers and sisters safe. And coming back, it felt like kind of thrown away. If it hadn't been for Wounded Warrior Project, I honestly don't know if I would be here. It was like, I got my family back again. We all felt the connection, like that brother and sisterhood.
See how Wounded Warrior Project empowers women veterans like Donna by visiting woundedwarriorproject.org/empowerwomenvets.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
The rent is too damn high. KBLA joins you in calling for affordable housing. The LA Tenants Union is a diverse, tenant-led movement fighting for the human right to housing for all. The LA Tenants Union demands safe, affordable housing and union rent control. They organize against landlord harassment, mass evictions, and displacement, and mobilize for the repeal of the Ellis Act and Costa-Hawkins Act. The LA Tenants Union is on a mission to strengthen tenants' political power through education, advocacy, and direct action. To get help with your eviction or other landlord-tenant issues, take action for justice, or become a member, visit latenantsunion.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You were locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So listen, as I was saying before we came forward, Issa Rae has a new Prosecco coming out. Now, I like a good Prosecco. It's a great brunch drink. Little fizzy, little afternoon, little light thing. So I'm sure, it seems like something that fits and is very much on brand with her to go along with her yacht stuff. The ad for it is very, very feeling like European vacation. Lots of, beautiful people and a lovely brown label. The name of it is Viva Ray Wines, and I mean, it really is part of the celebrity kit, right? Most celebrities at this point, right? Male or female, they're going to have a liquor brand of some sort, a tequila, a wine, a something, right? They might have a skincare line or a hair care line, correct? They're going to have one or two of those in the mix. I feel like clothing, like that is so 2004-ish. So nobody really has a clothing situation anymore. Maybe, there were a few bikini lines, bathing suit lines, swimwear lines for the women. Man, I guess men are having more streetwear brands. But there seems to be a celebrity kit. Like there are certain things in your kit that you must have and promote as a upper echelon, or, maybe even a mid-tier. I guess it just depends on where you're at. And it goes along with it. So my question, as always, is will you support? Issa Rae seems to have the, support of the people always, and they want to see her win. I want to see her win. Homegrown here from L.A., for the most part, y'all don't get too technical. She lived here long enough, moved here when she was young enough that we're going to rock with it, right? But are you a little burnt out on celebrity-endorsed brands? Doesn't matter. We had the conversation a couple weeks ago about Snoop Dogg and the fact that he doesn't use any of the alcohol brands that he promotes. So, in theory, all of these others aren't necessarily in the same boat, or if they are, they're not as transparent and honest as Snoop is. But is it just, hey, this helps get my awareness up and you keep it as an advertisement and keep it moving? Or are we still in a moment where we pay uber attention to what the celebs are endorsing and what they're creating and are still excited for it? I feel like we're in a weird sort of place with celebrity where even though we're still attached to it in a way, it's waning. I don't know if it's bad or good. I mean, surely a little less celebrity worship is necessary and needed probably for some, but at the same time, we do love our entertainment overall. So anyway, speaking of entertaining and things for a long time, Suzanne Summers passed away. You knew her as Chrissy Snow on Three's Company, also on Step by Step. But I think one of her biggest accomplishments away from just being on screen was as an entrepreneur and the creation of the Thigh Master. She dropped that in about 1991. It basically was a thing to help tone your thighs. What are those? The adductors, the inside of the thigh muscle. I think that's what they're called. Somebody will correct me if that's not it. But she created this along with her husband. Do you know that she made $300 million off of the Thigh Master? She said that right away when it started selling, it sold 10 million out of the gate. And she said that at that point, they stopped counting, right? But initially, this was about 2 years ago when she was discussing it. She said it was $19.95 per device at the time, and they sold 10 million initially. And by then, she said this was, as I mentioned a few years ago, they were probably at around 15 million. That is impressive. They own it outright. She and her husband went in with partners. It was during the time when aerobics craze was really big in the 80s. You think about Jane Fonda. Jane Fonda had her workout studios. She had her tape and all of the fitness things or whatever. So kind of like how I went through the different celebrity brands, the things that like currently everyone kind of checks the box with certain things. In the late 80s, early 90s, an exercise tape, literally VHS or program, some type of aerobic thing, was a big part of a lot of celebrities' profiles back then. You think that's how Bruce Jenner kind of got back into the mix doing infomercials and stuff like that? That was Chris's big idea. Oh, we're going to talk a little bit about Kris Jenner later, working her magic. But that's for later. Anyway, Suzanne said she had written 27 books on health, 16 or 18 years of series television. She's given lectures, and she said the thing that she believed that she was best known for was the Thigh Master. So she passed away from cancer, breast cancer. I believe she was battling it for quite some time. So thoughts and prayers to her husband and her family. We appreciate the years of enjoyment that she gave us. I know everybody, at least I did, used to come home after school and watch those Three's Company reruns back to back, along with the Brady Bunch. I felt like that was that little block from 5 to 7 p.m. Those are the shows that they would run. Then later, you know, when they were like, oh, black people might watch stuff. So they threw in the Jeffersons for us in that little block, at least here, I think, on KTTV, which was Channel 11 back in the day. So shout out to them. Also, speaking of the Kardashians and so forth, listen, that Kim and Skims, we know Skims is taking over. It is a $1 billion brand, and we've seen her do collaborations with Ice Spice and a bunch of different people. She had the Supermodels do a collaboration. Well, she's recently dropped her latest collaboration, and it is none other than Cardi B. So if you're into Skims, check out Cardi's new collaboration with Kim for Skims. She looks great in the photos, of course. And yeah, we're going to talk about Cardi B tomorrow, just giving you a little heads up, and her commentary about home ownership and rental properties and so forth. It's a good conversation, but that's for tomorrow. So anyway, continuing on down the road, I know you've been waiting. So we're going to talk about Will, because I think it's important. We've been talking Jada. And here's the thing. I feel like people are coddling this grown adult man who knew exactly the relationship that he was in, who also had a copy of this book and knew everything that was going to be said in it before everyone else. And I find it weird, but I think that I have figured out, besides general misogyny, why everyone is so mad at Jada. But first, Jada's mama had something to say to the internet, because she feels like you guys are going in on her daughter unfairly. and not really paying attention to everything that is going on in the situation, right? So she had this to say when she and Jada got on a live earlier to discuss kind of, the book, the reaction, blah.
Painful. Yours is not it's not a happy story.
Right.
But I do want to start out as your mama.
Right.
To clarify some things, because I'm a little tired of all the vitriol being thrown your way. I'm sick of it.
Right.
And I just want to say that, when you guys decided to separate, okay, that was a decision that both of you made. You're both separated. You did not cheat on Will.
Right.
You're both parties are living their lives, both. Okay, so it's not just you.
Right.
And I need to make that really clear.
Right.
Because I'm a little sick of that foolishness.
I got you, Gam. I understand.
All right.
I understand.
I love Will to death. He's my guy. We are family.
So listen, one, Gammy's right. Y'all need to ease up. Here's the thing, and Jada admitted it, that she allowed herself kind of to be placed out there as an adulteress based off of the agreement that she and Will made, and that she just kind of took that, probably because it was her piece that decided to run his mouth and open up the conversation. Now, Tony Yayo asked a great question in the chat. He said, what's the point of buying the book? Everything is out on the promo tour. But it's not. Here's the thing. These are tidbits that are obviously going to get us interested. They're also things that, in general, not everyone, but in general, have been swirling around the Smith family for the last 2 decades. So we don't know a great deal about what was going on with Jada when she was growing up, how she felt, how she moved. We don't know about that trip to Hollywood. We know little things, but we don't know what she was doing when she got here. Because, and I'm going to play a clip for you in a second, but even the explanation of the open marriage, she addresses that. She addresses people saying that Will is gay. So these are things that have been swirling around the Smiths for 10 plus years. And you can continue to hear the bits, which we all like. We enjoy it, piques our interest and get us interested. But I think what has been shown, as if you look at the case with Will's book, a lot of people thought they knew what was in Will's book. Oh, I saw the clips. I heard when he said this. I heard that he said his dad beat his mom and he didn't want to be like that and he had some control issues. But did they really read it? Did they understand what they were reading? Because if they had, they would have known that Will and Jada have been separated for a while, or at least moved the way that their relationship was presented. I remember in an interview a couple years ago, and a lot of people got mad. They said, we don't even call ourselves husband and wife anymore. We have, a spiritual union. They've been throwing the signs out there and the hints without actually saying it. Now, is that a tad dishonest? Sure, but do you tell everything about your relationship, especially when you're trying to work through it? What do we always hear? Don't talk to your girlfriends about your relationship. They're going to be haters. They're going to tell you to leave. All of these things. So when they're practicing that and trying to get it figured out, we're so mad because we feel so entitled to it because we put them on this pedestal. Andy has something to say. I can't wait.
You said something like the last part. I forgot what it is that you said, but once again, they should have kept it private. That's one. Continue, man. I lost my train of thought.
Lost your train of thought?
Yeah.
I lost you? Okay. We're going to try and get it back for you. This is my thing. I understand it, and I understand the annoyance. So you're like, oh my God, another Tupac story. But again, I think really look at these things. Is Jada just waking up like, yep, let's talk about Tupac? Or does everyone want to ask their specific Tupac question? And everyone thinks, but my question's going to be the killer. I'm going to ask the one that's going to get a little bit more detail. She's giving more detail in the book.
Jada she could have easily curbed those questions, right?
Could have, yeah.
Could have. Yeah.
But now is the time. I feel like now is the time to answer them, right?
Nah.
No?
The reason why it is now is the time is because she got a book coming out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She could have easily spoke up during the slap. You know what I'm saying? I, for one, didn't read Will's book.
Okay.
So it's not like I'm going to know those intricacies. You know what I mean? I just feel like, man, off the rip, they could have just were separated. That's it. They allowed all these other things to occur. You know what I mean? When the slap happened, Jada was quiet the whole time. You know what I mean? She could have said something like, yeah, Will shouldn't have done that. I wasn't even tripping. Like, there was none of that going on, right? While we attacked Will during that whole period.
They attacked her too. They attacked.
They both got attacked.
Yeah,
like, man, they could have been a more cohesive unit during that time. You know what I mean? They could have been like, well, we're separated. You know, Will felt the need to do this because, you know, blah, 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 whatever. They both should have came together and at least spoke about that situation. But Jada's silence, and then now that she's, you know, coming out of the woodworks because she got a book, it just seems a little fishy.
But fishy in what way? What do you mean?
Fishy in the sense that, you know what I'm saying, she's capitalizing off of the issues that they got going on. And I get it. Controversy sells. You know, that's why there's some people out there that feel like, you know, both of them are in cahoots. I believe you're probably going to get into to Will's email and comments later, but it's like, come on now. Come on.
Hey, I mean, here's the bottom line. Expect them to get back together and write a book together on how they made it through the storm and how they, you know, tried to take the approach of keeping things internally, but maybe externally was the way to go. And they're still unsure and still figuring it out. But the bottom line is we took this vow together and we are going to handle it together. And that's going to be the message. I guarantee you, watch 2-3 years down the line.
That would be dope as hell.
It's coming. I believe it. I'm not saying that they have said, I do not know any inside information this time. I am just saying what I feel in my gut and what is the next step in this process and what is the extension. And two, by some of the things that Jada has said on this press tour. Fahima says, Jill, I appreciate your analysis. Most of these people have cognitive dissonance and haven't taken the time or just aren't paying attention on purpose so they can be misogynistic.
Stop it.
Andy said, stop it. And she has something for you, Andy. She says they did keep things private until they did their memoirs, and they each have the right to tell their truths. Also, here's the thing, though. As far as the relationship stuff and what was happening, we were good. It was silent on it. People were speculating, though. They were, like, looking at Will's Instagram, looking at other girls. They were like, oh, is he messing with that Liza lady? Oh, what's going on here? Oh, Jada looks a little happier on the carpet next to old boy. You know, things of that nature. But then August, summer month, had to spill all of the tea because he got his heart broken. And the lesson is leave the youth alone because they can't hang. They can't handle it. On the other side, we're going to get into what Will had to say in his reaction to all of this. And also my opinion as to why I think you guys are raking Jada over the coals so much behind this situation. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. On the other side, news and sports.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Esther Dillard, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Artillery and rocket fire continue as Israeli troops stand ready to attack at the border with Gaza. As the fighting rages, food, water, and medical supplies are in short supply in Gaza. The death toll has surpassed 4,100 since the Israeli-Hamas war began on October 7th. A vote on Jim Jordan's bid to become Speaker of the House is expected Tuesday at noon. It remains unclear if the Ohio Republican will have the 217 votes needed to secure the position. And the alleged African-American gunman accused of shooting 3 people at the State Fair in Texas says he was acting in self-defense. Cameron Turner told the cops that he was trying to protect his family, according to an arrest warrant. Dallas police say the 22-year-old was alone Saturday night. And that's the latest. I'm Esther Dillard from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Need an accident attorney by your side? All you got to do is call the accident guys.
Injured in a car accident or at work? The accident guys can come to you almost anywhere, so you don't have to come to us. Se habla español.
Follow the leader. KBLA Talk 1580. Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcasts of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your beer. Follow the leader. Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Joey from Vermont, a farmer trying to get through the winter. Adriana from South Carolina, a single mother living paycheck to paycheck. Liam from Ohio, an injured father struggling to provide for his family. Hi, I'm Shanola Hampton, and I support the Feeding America network of food banks because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, can potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Roll Charmin Ultra Strong when you drop in the beat. It cleans with way less effort on your seat. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Yeah, roll it, yeah, drop it. Okay. Charmin flows extra strong from the road. Your butt hella clean while you're sitting on the bowl. Yeah, it's all you need for that bathroom groove. Get you in and out without nothing to prove.
Charmin Ultra Strong cleans better so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Tired of being locked out of job opportunities and shut down by systemic racism? KBLA stands with you in fighting for the rights of black workers, and we don't black down. The Los Angeles Black Workers Center is a dynamic alliance of workers, organized labor, community-based organizations, clergy, students, and scholars, working collectively to improve the position of the black working class. The LA Black Workers Center takes a comprehensive approach to addressing the black jobs crisis. Their programs promote access to quality jobs, racial equity in hiring and retention, discrimination-free job sites, and they prepare black workers for employment in high-wage, career track jobs. The Black Workers Center supports workers who need help protecting their rights on the job. They give workers access to quality jobs and remove systemic barriers to employment. To sign up for free career readiness training, get involved in organizing around anti-discrimination, learn about union apprenticeship programs, or sign on to a trade registry, please visit www.lablackworkerscenter.org. That's lablackworkerscenter.org. Together, we can beat the black jobs crisis. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Joey from Vermont, a farmer trying to get through the winter. Adriana from South Carolina, a single mother living paycheck to paycheck. Liam from Ohio, an injured father struggling to provide for his family. Hi, I'm Shanola Hampton, and I support the Feeding America network of food banks because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's 2 o'clock and I'm faded. This coach feeling amazing. Got a voicemail on my phone from a little breezy feeling X-rated. She told a nigga she hurting. I'm in the car and I'm swerving. I walked into her bedroom. I put it down, that's certain. Man, I stay on that to rock. Man, I stay taking shots. Man, your girl be on my job. Maybe cause I'm everything you're not. See, I ain't no rich nigga, no snitch nigga. I'm a real nigga, that's real. I'm just trying to chill. Cause I'm way too drunk to be talking like this. I'm way too high to be tripping like this. Way too young to be living like this. Ask me why I do it, I'ma put it like this. I love it.
I love it. Shout out to Andy coming through with that August. What was I about to call August? I don't know. I was about to call August something else. August Alsina. I love it. That was his first single, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. I remember, I think he had a tour for this with Tiana Taylor. I went and saw him at the House of Blues. Tiana rocked it, as she always does. He actually was very good. Talented young man. It's really sad that all of this is kind of derailed his career, but boosted it up, but not. I don't know what the ultimate outcome will be for him. Obviously, his name is trending again. I wish he had. Here's my thing. You knew Jada was about to drop some music. I don't know if any NDAs got dropped on you or what was happening, but she was about to drop the memoir. You should have had some music ready to drop August, some new stuff. We saw you on Surreal Life a couple of months back, and you were going through a spiritual transformation and opening up and having some moments. He had a really rough upbringing, I hope that everything comes together for him, but he's the one that spilled the beans. And again, I guess that's what happens when you date youth.
And you know what, Jill?
What?
As soon as you said that, any type of, not hatred, but any type of ill will or whatever that I had for Jada, this is all going on August now. I'm not even tripping on Will. I'm not even tripping on Jada. This is all August. Like you said, if he didn't open up his mouth, we probably wouldn't be privy to any of this. And any dramas that Will and Jada had would have been kept behind doors. But because August Alsina then, laid his heart out there, Will had to answer, Jada had to answer, and all of their trauma and all of their BS has been there for us to consume.
That's why they tried to not say anything at first. He kept dropping things. Then he had the video. He was putting out text messages and the videos and all of the things and, going very much into detail what Will said. And here's the thing. I never not believed that he and Will had that, maybe not that exact conversation, but had some sort of conversation. Right. Like, a woman says or a man says, hey, me and my situation over here, we're trying something different. Are you down to go on this ride? If you were thinking about it, an assurance from the other party probably makes you feel better, August was not in a space or a place to handle whatever Jada put on him.
Right.
That's that. But realistically, they kept it all to themselves. All of this time, people have been talking about open relationships with Will and Jada. Will and Jada are swingers.
Right.
All of these things for 2 decades.
Absolutely.
And they just started, it's not like they just Yeah, I don't know. I think people are being a little bit unfair. I remember when Will and Jada had just gotten married, or were talking. It had to be after they just got married. And I watched an interview with Jada, and she was like, I will sign any piece of paper that Will put in front of me. I knew they didn't have a prenup because she said it. She was like, but I'm not getting married to get divorced. So I'll sign whatever. It doesn't matter. But she followed that up with, but he didn't want me to sign anything. They had real conversations about that. And that always stuck with me when she said, I'm not getting married to get divorced. It stuck with me because it's true. And if you have full faith in it, your situation, you're going to sign that prenup or not have a prenup based off of, we are in this for life. That's what people say that they want people to do in their marriages, right? Sometimes you got to work through some things, and it may not be the best way for us or our convention, but that's what they were doing. Like I said, Jada's already said that, it's possible that they'll be back together later on, and that some things have changed right now, and they're kind of working on some things. So we're going to play what Will said. I don't think I have what Will said. I'm going to read that. But we're going to play what Jada says, the point where they arrived at the open marriage. But it's not the open marriage like you think. She breaks it down and explains what it is. I will say this, though. I feel like the reason why Jada gets so much heat, why people are so outdone and feel that she's being so egregious to poor Willard Smith, is because Will is handsome, wealthy, and charming. And people are like, you are fumbling the bag on a good man, and any woman out there would have been on her knees thankful to have Will Smith begging them to be married, begging to do all of these things and show it up. And people feel like she is ungrateful because she was a Baltimore hood rat and is not showing enough reverence for Will Smith because he is a high value man, a good man. And I think that is why people are giving her a hard time, because they feel like, well, this is the man that you guys say you want. The nice guy, right? The handsome guy, right? The wealthy guy, right? So, Jada, how can you not be happy? You ungrateful little peep. Those are just my thoughts, but let's listen to Jada break down. On the other side, we'll do that because, no, we got time?
No, I wanted to give my opinion on what you just said before we play the clip real quick.
Okay, go ahead, Andy. Okay. I want to hear it.
It's pretty simple. I kind of agree a little bit of what you just said, but for me, I think the reason why Jada gets a lot of flack, it's her delivery. Just like how people be upset about Stephen A. and his delivery, she's giving me, what's her name, Ebony K. Williams type vibe. Just nose all up in the air.
Who is her nose up in the air to?
It's just coming off. It's coming off like she not really tripping about the situation. Like it's not bothering her. Like it's just a matter of fact. Like this is just what it is. It's just what it is.
You know what though? You're right. And when we get on the other side, not only will we still got time. Well, let me tell you why I think that she has that, because she is not where we are with these emotions and these things. She and Will, they are past it. So yeah, she's like, what? We done with that. We had that conversation. We felt those emotions. I cried and wanted to unalive myself on my 40th birthday. I told him I wanted something small and intimate. He blew it out and had all these performers. It made me feel bad about myself. Yeah, I gave up my career. I felt away. I thought I wouldn't. I felt away.
Okay. I can respect that, but
still not rolling.
No. I can respect that. I guess it's just sad because Will is looking like the sad puppy, as opposed to Jada, who's looking like it's nothing to her.
But he's not looking like the sad. He was looking like the sad puppy when he was on his book press tour, and he was looking like the sad puppy when he was on the Slap Apology tour.
Absolutely.
Probably because he's like, oh man, I did too much. Oh man, I let my ego get to me again. Because it makes perfect sense. Jada was like, dog. But he had some pent-up hostility probably against Chris Rock. Chris Rock probably didn't know, but took too much advantage. Right. Push. You pillow talk with your mate. He probably didn't know how much Will knew of whatever he was saying to her.
But why didn't Jada at that moment, like maybe at least just say something?
Do you think she wasn't shocked too, like in that exact moment?
I'm with you. She was shocked, but I think.
What could she have said that would have mattered? What could she have said that would have made everybody feel better?
Just to speak on why Will did what he did.
But she didn't even know yet.
I understand, but even afterwards, days afterwards, that's all I'm saying. Maybe a week afterwards.
They had books to put out. They weren't ready to tell that truth.
And then one quick question before we go to break.
Okay.
Did the slap happen after Will dropped the book, or did the book drop after the slap?
The book dropped before.
Before the slap.
Right? Let's see, when did Will come out?
Because you know me and my conspiracy way of thinking, you know what I mean? Part of me probably was like, you know what? Same thing that I be saying about Jada.
So when did the slap was last year, right?
Like, I want to say February or something.
It was
like
March of 2022.
Okay.
The book came out in November of 2021. So it was a lead-in. It was the book where he talked about the separation and stuff, his anger control issues. He knew that for Christmas, we had King Richard coming out. He was already on the push, like, this is my Academy Award season. So we had an emotional book. You know what I'm saying? A heart-wrenching, revealing book of all my flaws and things with the build-up. And we have the Academy Award-winning performance of my life.
Fair enough.
Where I slipped in, and then,
Then my perspective is null and void, because why would you sabotage? Why would you, because my whole thing, I was about to say he did the slap in order to,
pump up the book?
Yeah, but that's not the case, because that would just tear you down, so nah.
It was after the fact. Well, when we come forward, we will get more into this. We're going to play Jada's breakdown of what the open relationship actually is and how it came about, so that you have a better understanding, because I also think people are like, you guys weren't really broken up. You weren't really they've been saying that. They've been saying it. They said it at the red table. Bad marriage for life. There's no divorce. What did you think that meant? Anyway, we'll get more into that on the other side. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Green Foundation, key health influencer, empowering our Black communities through action. The Green Foundation advocates for affordable health care, accessibility, and knows the importance of culturally relatable health care. Regardless of income, we believe it is a right for optimum health. The Green Foundation has been at the forefront for 25 years, dedicated solely to promoting prevention through early detection, annual screenings, and nutrition. We know you because we are you. Our hand-holding approach supports you and your family to receive your right to be treated fairly and receiving quality healthcare services. We want you and your family to know COVID-19 was devastating to our families and to our wallet. We can build back better by understanding prevention, wearing your mask, washing your hands, social distancing, and understanding the impact of long COVID. Get the care you deserve. Take advantage of your privileges. Contact us, info@thegreenfoundation.net. info@thegreenfoundation.net.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for education as a right, not a privilege. Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science is a private, non-profit, community-founded, student-centered university committed to cultivating diverse health profession leaders who are dedicated to social justice and health equity for underserved populations. CDU does this through outstanding education, clinical service, and community engagement. Recently, Charles Drew University made history by opening only the 5th medical school at an historically Black university. Congratulations, South LA, and congratulations to the Dean of the medical school, Dr. Deborah Protho-Stith. CDU is now training doctors and providing $90 million in annual economic benefit to Watts and surrounding neighborhoods. To apply for medical school, get more information, or sign your child up for the Junior Doctors Saturday School program, visit cdrewu.edu. That's cdrewu.edu. At KBLA, we are dedicated to equity in education and ending healthcare apartheid. And we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people who make things happen, like me. I'm Sam, founder and CEO of Manifest, a product design company that makes everyday products designed smarter. I get 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more, plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases, which helps us make more smart ideas into a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card. Learn more at chase.com/business premier. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Account subject to credit approval. Restrictions and limitations apply. Cards are issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank. Any member FDIC.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So, okay, we're going to get to that Jada clip in a minute. Couple of things. So, someone called in and mentioned that August might be dating a man now. Let me break down what that is, because as I mentioned, he was on The Surreal Life, and this kind of came up on there. Now, August has said this individual is like a brother or, you know, a young charge or whatever, but the two, they're dressing alike and talk about having a spiritual bond, and he kind of indicated when he was on The Surreal Life, he wouldn't confirm or deny. He kind of said that he was in a place where he was just getting comfortable with himself. So, I don't know what's going on there. We don't know. I think that August has been through a lot emotionally. Again, his upbringing was very, very rough. If you watched any of that interview that he did with Angela Yee, where this all came out, you know that he's been through some things that a young man should not have had to experience. He's cared for his younger siblings and so forth. He just is, emotionally vulnerable. However, that doesn't mean that he can't be held accountable for some of the things that he's done that are out of line. Andy.
And it makes me wonder, because I do remember Will addressing that situation, like acknowledging that, August had issues or whatnot. So, Will didn't really have a problem or whatnot. But I don't know, man, whatever Jada did to him, not that it was a negative thing, but, August probably couldn't handle that.
Maybe he thought it was going someplace else. It might not even really have anything to do with Will. I think Jada was enjoying herself, having a good time, and maybe thought he was having fun too, and that maybe when the fun ended, there could be a friendship, but not necessarily my man. And I think August was like, my girl, you know what I mean? So listen, I'm sure she was very different from a lot of the young women that he was dealing with. And so Jada's also very spiritual. That can trip some people up and whatever. The difference is none of Will's chicks, probably because they knew, look, I'm not going to mess this up. Do you see what I'm locked into? I'm not saying nothing. That's how you get cut off. They were just locked in and enjoying the benefits, but, sometimes that happens. So I want you guys to listen to this clip because I think that it is really important. Listen to what Jada says. Listen to how they arrived to the point of not an open marriage, but they have a healthy level of communication, I think, at various points, not all the time, clearly, but I think that they are at least willing to have some of these conversations with each other and explore it, while a lot of people just deny and avoid until it all comes crashing down. Now, granted, a lot of this did come crashing down, but they were already through the junk, so they have emerged like, Phoenix from the ashes, like, and what? Why y'all tripping? Did you see Will's video that he put up where he was on a boat someplace and the alerts were going off and he was like, fun fact about me, I could sleep through anything. And he looked at the camera and shook his head like, y'all tripping. Stop defending that grown man. He doesn't need it. He's not emasculated. He's not being browbeaten. He made a choice. He made a decision. They've had conversations, and whatever. Let's listen to the clip.
So I think one of the things that I address in the book in regards to, people thinking that we've had an open marriage, and we haven't had an open marriage. I talk about starting off pretty much early on in our marriage of having the need for transparency. And that is a big difference between, hey, you can do whatever you want, versus like, hey, here we are, very young people in this place called Hollywood that has a lot of temptation. Let's have a partnership around this. Let's be very realistic of what this life is. if we're talking about we're going to be together forever and ever and ever, that means there's going to be some temptations that come up. Let's be in partnership and let's talk about that. I didn't go into my marriage like, I am going to be. My husband is never, ever, ever going to look at anybody else. You know what I mean? Like, I am just a realist in a lot of ways. I know what it's been like for me, right? When I first came to Hollywood and I could go into the clubs and have anybody, just the level of just like, like, you know what I mean? It's just like,
intoxicating.
It's so intoxicating. That's one. Now, what I do believe that what people don't know that I talk about in the book a lot is that there have been several breakups between Will and I. Will talks about it, my 40th birthday, which was a big breakup for us. We were actually looking towards separating and divorcing. And we separated. The world just didn't know. Then we had a reconciliation. And then 2016 came and we had the ultimate break. But the world didn't know. And I think that that's where some of the misconception about having an open marriage came into play, because we were living lives as single people and the world didn't know. Over the span of 12 years.
So, listen, essentially that breaks down their thought process regarding open marriage. They were separated in their mind. Did they legally go and do it? No, because one, it would have got out to the press. And two, they felt like they could manage it. They could manage it however they were attempting. And they did, for the most part. You know, Will has said very much concerned with his image, never wanted to have another divorce, didn't want to have the first one, would not let his first wife go until she said, why would you want to be with someone that doesn't want to be with you? I'm not happy with you. Nobody thinks about that. That's how Jada was feeling, because she was being forced to put on this happy face. And people can say what they want, but if that's not how she felt, Willis talked about how they take very different approaches to things. She's very traditional in, like, you know, wants the Santa decorations and so forth and things of that nature. So I think people didn't listen to that. Andy?
Hindsight being 2020, they probably should have put it out there when they first divorced, because now it came out and it came out very ugly.
It did. When we come forward, we're going to get more into this. We're also going to talk about next hour, Megan Thee Stallion. She is going to be financing her next project. Is that a smart move? Is it the best move? Can it lead to success? And of course, we'll wrap up this Will Smith conversation. All of that and more. But really quickly, there are a couple things I wanted to mention in our conversation starters that I forgot. It's official now, so I guess we can say it. Congratulations to Halle Bailey and DDG on their impending little bundle of joy. Also, shout out to Sexy Red. Why you would want to be pregnant right as you're taking off, I don't know, but hey, it worked for Cardi. Maybe it can work for you. She said she was tired of sucking her stomach in and acting like she wasn't pregnant. On the other side, more trending topics, more headlines. You were locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. News and sports is up next.
No rich nigga, no snitch nigga. I'm a real nigga, that's real. I'm just trying to chill, cause I'm way too drunk to be talking like this. I'm way too high to be tripping like this. Way too young to be living like this. Ask me why